Welcome in. This is a very special Manic and Chill and Dynasty Theory crossover. Nothing fancy tonight, just myself and Shane and John Bauer and Mitch Sorensen together for one final stream of the off season where we are going to fire through our trades this evening. It's going to be fun. We're going to do some hot takes. We're going to do some predictions, and really we're just going to talk through a bunch of trades that we have solicited over the past 12 hours or so in our, I think we're over 200 leagues combined, guys. JB, how many are you in?
It's over 100 at this point in time.
I mean, there you go. And how many, Mitch, are you in that JB is not in?
That he's not in, probably at least 40.
Okay. And Shane?
Not as many as you guys. I'm apparently the virginal one out of us. I'm only in like 29 Dynasty leagues, so I'm basically a neophyte. Or some people like to call me in the Shane Says YouTube comments a casual. So
okay. I haven't seen anyone call you a casual.
Yeah.
That's about as offensive as it gets for somebody that's created content for almost 10 years. Someone that just signed up last year on Sleepers calling you a casual. Oh, man. Well, I'm in, I think, 46 as of right now. So a couple of those are Shane and I don't have many leagues together. We maybe have like 5 or 6. And then I know I'm in with a couple with you guys. So we're over 200, I would say, combined unique leagues that we are not in together. So we solicited trades this morning, put out a canned message basically saying, send us offers. And that's what we're going to do over the next hour and a half. So we will engage a little bit in the chat. If you want to start some comments, any of you, that's fine. But for the most part, they're going to just be going through trades, talking through why or why not we're going to do them. And there's one rule. We're going to make a decision on what we're going to do. Doesn't mean you have to, actually do that exact deal, but we're going to decide, do we want to reject it, accept it, or send a counter offer? We're not going to leave anybody hanging, hopefully. So let's start there. Let's start with you, Shane. Normally this is Manic and Chill. I kick it to you. I say how you're doing. You go, I'm fine. We small talk and then we actually get into the topic, but we're a night before the season. Your Eagles kick off tomorrow night. What's something you're really excited for this year? Like not just from an NFL perspective, but like you're interested in from a dynasty perspective. Anything big come to your mind?
I mean, I'm just so general, right? That's me. I'm a basic bitch, but week one, when answers start coming is actually what I look forward to, right? Like I have all these questions running in through my head. Like what's JCM's workload going to be? What's the Jets backfield workload going to break down? Like, is Trey Harris going to be something? Like I just love the anticipation before the letdown, the inevitable letdown of things not going the way we expect. But that's one of the big things I enjoy too, is just things happening and reacting or trying to measure how we react to them, like to make sure that we don't react. I know it's very general. There's not one specific player that I care about because I'm agnostic like that. You know what I mean? I just want answers so that I can take further action. I would like to be right on some of my takes so I can tweet those out Monday morning and victory lap early like everyone else in this damn space.
Mitch, how about you?
I talked about this on the Saturday mailbag show that we did a couple weeks ago, but for me, it's still really about, is the NFL moving more into a running game? I'm kind of the opinion that offenses move that direction because of what defenses were doing with that, that cover 2 shell that everyone was running and that 2 deep. But I think that NFL defenses are going to change the way that they looked at offenses. And now is that running game still going to be the thing that people are able to do? And a lot of people, especially in best ball, running backs are shooting up. Higher than what I have ever seen them as far as valued in Dynasty, as far as best ball and all that stuff. So I want to see if this is actually going to happen, because I think we actually see a little bit more of the going back to the passing game is still what's going to end up winning in the NFL. So that's the most important thing to me this season.
Yeah, it's interesting. I could get into a whole diatribe on how that's kind of shifted, but we've started to see that become the case even in Dynasty, right? Like, I think the community is very sharp at saying, is that an elite receiver or a receiver with an elite outcome? And if they're not, nobody is chasing the wide receiver 22 now just because they're young. They're like, I like them. I like them better than an older receiver that's in the same range, but I'm not going to overvalue the Jordan Addisons of the world because he's young. He is what he is. He's probably worth something as an asset that I don't have to pay if I want to get Terry McLaurin or Cortland Sutton, even though they're probably in similar ranges from a production standpoint. But it feels like we corrected that very quick, JB. Like a couple of years ago, it was like, dude, any receiver I can get my hands on that's good, I'll pay a first. Now it's like a lot of those guys you're stuck with if you have them. Even if they're good, being 25 and Zay Flowers means nothing. If people don't see an elite outcome, they're just like, I can pass on that. I can replace that production with a Jalen Warren type or whatever. I don't have to spend a first just because a guy's young, especially if I know they can't be elite.
It's come to the point in that situation where it's trade up, package up, consolidate, whatever you want to look at, trade out, whether it's cross positionally, or go after an asset that is significantly cheaper that's going to give you somewhat similar range of production. So like you said, I mean, Mitch, Scott, you get that middle range of wide receivers. They're not elite. They're not shit, but they're in that middle range. And from a production standpoint, somewhat replaceable, and it's age more than anything bolstering them up. And for me, when we're talking about things that we're looking forward to this season, it is the players, and I'm thinking about some wide receivers specifically, but the players that have changed teams, they have new situations, and we all have made a bet on them one way or the other. DK Metcalf, George Pickens, you could look at a lot of the incoming rookies. How is the Travis Hunter and the Tet McMillan situation is going to shake out? Because those are decisions that people had to make come draft day. When you were in your rookie drafts, you were in a lot of spots where it was one or the other. Are any of those players going to rise significantly in value? Are we going to see a letdown a la Marvin Harrison last year? But that's what I'm most excited to see, because, again, we see how things shape up and how our bets hopefully pay off for us in those situations.
Yeah, I think this comes full circle. I mean, we were talking earlier in the Discord. If you're not already in there, you can either sign up, ddfantasyfootball.com, patreon.com/allgas. Either one gets you in the house for these conversations. But we were talking about this year's guys that pop, not the guys we already had valued, not RJ Harvey, not Travion Henderson, even Matthew Golden to an extent. Like, that's not going to count. I'm very curious how somebody is going to treat Torrey Horton or Dante Thornton if they go out and have a big game. Or is there going to be moves you can make to move those guys, given the value of, I'll just throw out a name, how about Devontae Smith? He seems to be the poster child for everybody knows he's good, but you also know he kind of is what he is, and he's in a situation that kind of keeps that at bay. So I think people have kind of bucketed him as do they know what he is. Will there be deals where you can go from a Torrey Horton and a second to Devontae Smith after week one because of that receiver idea that we were talking about? Like, I don't view one versus the other as being so far different that I'm willing to take that kind of game. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with these early players that pop, because I think this class, I don't think there's going to be a lot to be excited about with this class right away, Shane. Unless a couple of these running backs go out and just smash, we're going to be searching for young guys or rookies in the first couple weeks that flash. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think there's going to be anything surprising unless it's a couple of these receivers that have already earned roles.
Well, I'll say this: the appetite to buy in high is higher than it's ever been, right? You've seen it. You saw it over the summer with JCM and Emeka Egbuka to varying degrees and various backstories. But people want to believe. I forget what that show was, but they want to believe. I think it was X-Files. Either way, people will pay for it. They will. If JCM goes out there and drops 20 carries for 80 yards and a touchdown, people will be paying up for him. Trey Harris goes out there and goes 5 for 70. People are going to pay up for him. I guarantee you it's going to happen quick, because people are so quick to jump on. They don't have the discipline to look at something with a cold, steely eye and go, you know what? This happens every year. Let me look at this from the long view.
Yeah, it should be fun. Less than 24 hours, we will have our first action going tomorrow night in Dallas and Philly.
And then Friday, if you're not already a Patreon member, become one now. Like Scott said, All Gas patreon or
no.
patreon.com/.
Scratch that, reverse it.
It was reversed. Whatever. Go on Patreon, look up All Gas, join ours, and then you can talk about the Thursday game with us on Friday morning during the drive.
That's right. That's right. Morning drive on Friday, every single Friday, talking the action from Thursday night, setting you up for the weekend. But guys, we said we're going to go till 9, so we have 80 minutes to go through as many trades as we can. I have a few to start, but does anybody have one that I'll be honest, I probably have 15 to 20. I haven't gotten the totals. I've had a few that have actually come in since we started the stream. Most of them, I already took a peek. They're shit. I'm not going to accept them. They're asking for, my best players, and they're paying close to but they're just not going to work from a roster construction standpoint. But do any of you have one that's like a legitimate thinker that you want to talk through? Anybody got one to start?
I got a good amount of offers. And like you said, I already have a few trickling in as we start. I saw a comment in the chat. Somebody had sent one over. This is one that I thought was intriguing. I already know what I'm going to do, but I want your opinions here. So it's a 14-team super flex league. A lot of bonuses, funky scoring, but I would be getting my 2026 first back and a 2027 second for CMC and Swift. My team, it is. So to give context, the last couple years, I had pushed the chips in year after year. So didn't have the next year picks. So as a result, and when I tell you my roster, it's old as shit. It is a very veteran presence here on this roster from top to bottom, but I haven't really liquidated because I haven't had my first. I do have my 27 picks, but I have Stafford, Russ, and Rodgers. That is the quarterback room. Lovely. CMC, Swift, Tracy, Ford, Spears. Those are the running backs of note. Puka, Ayuk, and then you're in trouble when your third wide receiver of note is Christian Kirk, and then Njoku, Freiermuth, and Hunter Henry. This is a team that, for me, I was ecstatic to be able to get this 2026 first back, because now it puts me in a situation. I get off of the high volatility running backs in CMC and Swift, even though I do expect them to produce, but I'm getting my first back, and now I'm able to further liquidate even those old quarterbacks in a situation where it's a 14-team super flex league.
So 14-teamer, you're giving up McCaffrey and you're giving up DeAndre Swift. You're getting back your own 26 first and then an extra second on top.
And
context. Go ahead.
Well, the context is I'm now in a position. The team is shit.
Hey, right. I was going to say context to Mitch and Shane. Like, are you guys just taking this trade, or are you waiting and seeing if you can sell for more? Because that's the only option, right? Is like, I don't want to sell McCaffrey now because if he has 25 touches and smashes, I can get a first and a second alone. But it's a gamble. So
because you have to worry about what happens if John Team goes 0-3. Then all of a sudden that pick in that person's mind goes up in value just as easily as, hey, Swift actually being good the first 3 weeks can make him go up in value. So if that means I could get that pick back and it means I could do other things with my team, I'm doing that 99% of the time in that type of situation.
And I'm trying to race to the bottom, right? Quicker than the other people that are trying to race to the bottom. And CMC and DeAndre Swift are not helping that tank to the bottom. So, yeah, I'm taking that offer for a multitude of reasons. So
how low can you go, JB? You think you could get top 3, top 4 if you do this trade? Like, does it help you get on track to go even lower? Or
once I can trickle down here and liquidate some of those quarterbacks, because there are going to be teams that are in need of a quarterback, maybe not today, but at some point in the season. And then with that wide receiver room, I mean, ultimately I have Puka Nacua. That's it. It's a start 2 wide receiver league, but yeah, I think it's going to give me the ability to make some cascading trades here that puts me in a better position. But also, like I mentioned, the reason that this team is in such dire straits is because over the last few years, I have kind of been pushing. And now it's at the point where it's full of assets that I was not able to move throughout the offseason. And now here we are.
There we go. Comments. Everybody saying,
there you go.
Dream scenario, take the trade, smash that. I mean, it feels like everybody's on consensus that you're taking that deal, and doesn't feel good because you've probably been bleeding this squad for a while on these players, but to rip off the Band-Aid. So
it is time to absolutely burn it down, and hopefully the league is somewhat cooperative and I can make that happen.
All right, there you go. So 1 for 1. So we'll make this a little quicker. Give the format, give the trade. No, I mean, listen, I wanted
you don't want a 30-minute synopsis with every trade?
I want to go through every one of these, but I know how we are. If we get everybody's opinion and we give the context on the roster construction and all of that, like it's 5 to 10 minutes on every one of these trades that are not just decline. And I'll mention, here's how we'll do this. If you guys have one that's just an automatic decline, like I did say, and we did say in the message we sent, we would give everybody a mention, but it could just be a quick, like, yeah, somebody offered me this for this. I'm declining it. Thank you for the offer type thing. So,
yeah, I think I have one of those. And if I could be wrong,
then chime in, Shane. This is your 10 seconds to shout that person out for the terrible offer.
Well, no. I don't know that it's terrible, but I do know that sometimes I snap reject, and then sometimes I come back. You know what I mean? Like I just look at it and I go, no, I would never. And then I look at it later. I'm like, oh, maybe I would. But I think this is I wouldn't, and then I still wouldn't. So the offer is it's a super flex league, in case you were curious. I give up Cameron Ward and Teteroa McMillan and get back Nico Collins and Woodrow Marks. Now, I mean, if you want the context,
how many starters? That always obviously matters.
This is
sure it's not 8 or 9. So
wait, you don't think I'm in a 10 by 8? I am in, let's see here. It's a good question. I don't know how many starters this is, to be quite honest with you. It's a lot. It's at least 11 to 12. Let me look on Savage FF.
Okay, let's assume 11 or 12. That's a lot to pay for one player, especially when one is Tet McMillan, which he's a game or two away from being like, oh, I kind of like him as much as Nico Collins. Yeah, and I'm giving away Cam Ward for free. Yeah, I'm good.
It's a start 14.
Okay. You'd never get that offer in like a start 9 or a start 8. You know what I mean? Like the reason they probably want it is because they're getting the 2 better assets.
No QB back, which is fine. I don't need a QB, but if I was going to do that, I would need an additional piece besides Woodson Marks. I appreciate the offer, though. It came from Speed Bumps. I get what he's trying to do. My quarterback situation is I got a bunch of them. So I am looking to move a QB, but this ain't how I'm looking to do it.
JB, Mitch, start 14. It's hard to not take the 2 top 50 assets versus the 1 top 20 asset,
Yeah, sometimes the league's, settings that just forces you in a direction. And we all love to say like, hey, we love all these 14 starters, 13 starters, but it does force you in a direction a lot of times. And I think it doesn't hurt trading. It definitely makes trading a little bit different than what it does in like a 12 by 12 or 12 by 11.
You see far more people looking to tear down from an asset than anything else.
That is wild. It's a 14 start 14. I didn't realize I was.
It's a 14 teamer and you have to give Ward?
No, start 14. Start 14.
Okay. Sorry. I think you just said 14 by 14, but
12 by 14. Sorry. My bad.
All right. I have one here real quick for you guys. So it's a 12 by 12. It's from our good friend Roy. So I have a good team. I've had a good team. And so he offered me Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. I'm giving up Jackson Dart, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and my 27 first. More than likely is going to be late. It's a 12 by 12. But the thing is, Jackson Dart's not starting for me, obviously. Dak Prescott would be starting over Geno. And while I love it, I don't know how much that's really helping win each week. But getting this, I'm all about the stacks. I don't know how much you guys love them. I love the stacks. So getting Prescott and CeeDee Lamb in my lineups every week, I might not gain that much off of Geno, but getting that stack to me is pretty huge. Your thoughts on that?
Wait, you're getting Dak and CeeDee Lamb?
I'm getting Dak and CeeDee Lamb. I'm giving up Jackson Dart at 27 first. We just call it mid or late, whatever. And Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I think I'm taking the Lamb side there.
I can't. I mean,
I know, Scott, you're going to go process. Well, you don't care about the players. I know.
I think if you you'd take probably Lamb over Amon-Ra, right? Even though you're a Lions fan, you'd take Lamb maybe a little bit over Amon-Ra. The stack magnifies it a little bit. But if you really pare it down, and on most of our rosters, I can't think of a format where you would look at CD and Amon-Ra and go, I don't want to say they're interchangeable, but for purposes of how you're constructing your team, they're pretty much interchangeable. You might think one is 2 points per game better than the other, but you're paying a first in Jackson Dart for Dak Prescott. Like, I just feel like there's something better I can do with Dart in a first, especially selling Dart before the season. Yeah, as soon as he's ready to start, you will, when Dart is named the starter, whenever that is, any of the straggling locked in QBs, you'll be able to get for Jackson Dart straight up. Like if Baker is struggling or T-Law is struggling, like you could go to one of those guys almost straight up rather than adding a first. So I don't think you need to do it. And now you're putting Geno on the bench, right?
Yeah, Geno would be on the bench. And I don't think I'm gaining that much going from Geno to Dak. That's kind of the hesitation there.
It's like the analogy I always give when someone offers you an awesome deal on their car. But you're like, dude, that means my other car that I can't now sell just sits in the driveway. So now I have 3 car payments. You know what I mean? Like it makes no sense. You're taking Geno out on a team you probably constructed in a way with Geno and Jackson Dart. I don't like it.
Get Roy a counter over there. Come on, get him a counter.
I'll get him one.
All right, here. Let me rattle. Can I rattle through just a few that I'm rejecting here?
Yep.
And I got a ton of offers in general. Most of them decent. There were some I already rejected before the show. I didn't even want to talk about them.
Wow.
But 12-team super flex start 10, 2 wide receiver, 2 PPR for tight end. I would give up Brock Bowers and Miles Sanders for JJ McCarthy and Kyle Pitts. That's an easy decline for me. I need an absolute treasure if I'm going to move off of Brock, especially if it's just a start 10, 12-team league. And then the next offer actually included Brock as well. I would get Nico and Trey Harris for Brock Bowers and Ramondre. Another one. Like, I like Nico plenty. I like Trey Harris, but I need to be blown away if I'm going to move off of Brock.
Yeah, definitely need to be blown. Let me, no one's taken any deals. So let me bring one to you that is fair. It is fair, and I think I'd like to take. And I will let you gentlemen decide. The chat can chime in too. I will listen to them because there's a lot of smart people in there. So the deal is, and I'll give you the context of the league so Scott doesn't yell at me. I've got a start 12, so it's a 12 by 12. I'm frisky. My running back room is 9th overall, wide receiver room 5th overall. So the offer to me is I would give up DeAndre Swift, already our second DeAndre Swift trade, DeAndre Swift in a 26 second, and I would get back Christopher Olave and James Conner. Let's see if there's any other context. I have a couple seconds in 2026.
I'm taking Olave and Conner.
100%. Yep.
Okay. So it's a 2 for 2, right?
2 for 2.
Swift and a second for Olave and Conner and Swift are the same exact thing.
And that's how I looked at it, right? And Olave, there's risk, obviously, but the upside on what he could be if he can stay healthy, knock on wood, would far exceed a second, I believe.
Yeah, that's a great deal. Usually that's one of those where there's leverage on the other side. Like somebody needs 2 seconds for Olave, and then I'm like, I don't need to do that. But it's a clean 2 for 2, and you're getting a player that 2 years ago people were easily paying a first plus to get. So he still has a good profile, and even if Olave ends up being what he is and he's a wide receiver 3 or 4, like it's still probably worth a second to have one of those on your bench. I mean, at worst, you just liquidate him back for a second. So I'm good doing that. Like that deal.
And that offer came from Sloppy Eric, who's in multiple leagues with me. Easy dude to trade with, someone that's always sending out. Usually that's one of those dudes. Like, there's certain dudes in your leagues or women send a trade. And even if it's not exactly what you want, you're going to get the deal done. As soon as you see it in your inbox, you go, all right, that's not what I want, but I guarantee you we're going to get a deal done. And that's usually the type of deals, the type of things that happen with that dude. Yep.
Here, Eric sent me an offer too. So I'll just piggyback off of this very quickly. This is a 12-team super flex league, start 12, some rushing and receiving first down bonuses, 0.25 PPC, 2 PPR for tight ends. That's really the only relevance here. Brenton Strange in a 26th third for David Njoku.
Getting Njoku.
No, getting Strange.
Oh,
Njoku.
That's where I was.
Can you get a second? I'm fine making that pivot if I'm starting Njoku and I just pivot to Strange and I'll live with the results. But if I can get a second, which gives me the ability to either fix that mistake or buy another starter when I need one, I would do that. But a third, I mean, what else can you do with a third besides hope you can package it with something else? You know what I mean? You have more work to do, so it's not as clean.
Yeah.
As fun as it is to get Strange, I'm going to pass on Strange for this time and just stick with the what I know, and that's Njoku.
Oh man, Shane getting some Strange over there.
Good Lord, John.
He said it. He said it.
Scott, look at Scott's face. He's like, we have guests, and this is how you're acting in front of people.
My internet lagged a bit, so I missed whatever banger Shane just dropped.
You're lucky. You're lucky.
So, but are you going to counter? Because that's close enough, right? That's close enough. You can come to a deal with him.
I didn't think it was a bad offer by any means.
Right.
No, I don't think so. I got a couple Bowers deals in leagues that are just impossible to. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse when you have Bowers and McBride in these 2 PPR start 2 tight end leagues. Like, I'm never trading them. You know what I mean? I got offered Caleb Johnson in a first, and it probably looks like a non-playoff first, but I need at least another one to even consider it. And then Pat Freiermuth, a first and a second. Like, JB, you're in a lot of these 2 PPR leagues. If you had to start 2 of them, I mean, you already value the tight ends as flexes. Even the Goddards and Hunter Henrys are just as flexible, so they're harder to pry from me in those leagues. But when you have to start 2, like this is a league I traded for Kittle, so I have Bowers and Kittle. So I could trade Bowers, but it's like you would have to completely revamp my entire starting lineup for me to trade him. Like I'd need like Malik Neighbors and Patrick Mahomes or something like that. And it's just, you're just never going to get that kind of offer. So it's tough to even invest in Bowers. Like he should be the 101 in a start 2 PPR, arguably. But
unless
once you
there's
take
some
him there,
crazy
there's no
settings
pivots.
elsewhere.
Yeah, there's no pivots once you have them. So that makes it's a blessing and a curse to own him in these leagues, but it's just, we're not even in the same ballpark when you have a deal like that gets offered. I mean, you just need, you got to rip the other team's roster apart to move off your Bowers. So it's tough to ever even find a deal if you want to trade them. What else, Shane? You got any other bad ones that are just?
I don't know if it's bad, right? We've had a variation of this offer on the drive to work last Friday. Again, check out the drive, become a patron. One of the many exclusives that you get as a patron, and it came from our dude Sanford. So here's a variation of it. So he sent me Josh Allen, Dalton Kincaid, and my 26 second for Kyler Murray, Genty, and Tet. So the context, he's got it all here. It's 12 by 13. It seems like I only play in degenerate leagues. It's 12 by 13 super flex, start 2 tight ends, and 2.0 tight end premium. Just in my brain, how my brain works things, right? I see it as Genty and Kyler for Josh Allen and Kincaid and Kyler and Genty for Josh Allen, and then Kincaid in a second for Tet. I don't know. I don't like any of those sides.
Man. Mitch, I mean, here's the thing. Kincaid is gross, but in this format,
exactly,
he's a lot closer to Tet McMillan than people want, just in terms of scarcity, and it is a 2 PPR. I mean, and you're getting the stack. To me, Shane, this is actually not an unfair offer, but this is not the league I give a shit whether I'm getting Josh Allen. You know, I want the 3 assets on the other side. It feels like I could do a lot more with that. Josh Allen gets a high ankle sprain, and I can take out Tet in this deal and get him. You know what I mean? Like I just don't need to pay for a quarterback upgrade when the starters are spread this deep. So I wouldn't do it.
And my thought process as well is, and I talk about this a lot, in a start 13, the impact of one singular player is diminished, right? Because it's divided by 13, as opposed to a start 10, right? As opposed to a start 10 where it's divided by 10. Yeah. So I'm not sure what the exact math is, except that it's more better in a smaller league than a larger league, the impact of one player. I just, let's just imagine Kyler is a top 8 QB like he's been in his career. Genty's a top 5 running back, and Tet is a top 20 wide receiver. I feel like that exceeds what I could get on the other side.
JB, any thoughts on that one? I mean, it's not unfair, but it's also not the type of deal that I want if in an active league. It feels like I could just do so much more with the other side.
I would take the 3 players there in that situation.
If that was a first, would it change your mind? A first instead of a second?
First, it would be a very different conversation because I could buy things.
That would swing me for sure.
That might be my counter because I don't mind in a start 13, 2 tight end, 2 PPR league. Kincaid's actually pretty valuable. If he's just a notch above that Hunter Henry line where he's 60 for 600, if he's just 75 for 850 or something like that, he's way more valuable than you probably want to give him credit for. And you're stacking him with Allen, and you're getting a first for, it's not exactly what you paid for Ted or Genty, but if it's a first, I would do it. I don't know if Terrell would do it. He's pretty sharp, and he's probably not looking to give a first in that deal, but
yeah, the crowd is very much on the Josh Allen. I will say this. I don't know how many people play in start 13s. It's kind of like, I don't want to use a metaphor I was going to use, but it's one of those things like you don't really understand it till you're there, right? Like prison. Like you think you know what it's like until you actually get there, and it's like, oh, this is what it's really like. You know what I mean? I know a couple of people watching.
You know when it's week 8 and you have 4 buys and 6 injuries, and you're going like, dude, can I trade for like Chris Rodriguez and start him this week? And you're desperate to get a guy like that.
Khalif Raymond. You're like, is Khalif Raymond on an NFL football team? Because I will give you a 3rd or a 4th for him. Please.
And you're looking for what teams actually have a usable player somewhere on their bench,
right?
That would be willing to trade him to you. Yeah, I get you. JB, Mitch, you guys got any you want to shout out?
I'll do one real quick because this is from Coach Dandy Nasty, our co-host on Dynasty Theory. Okay. He loves to send these trades, and actually, so I got probably about 35 trades-ish sent to me, but it's just when you see the trade come in, you know what it's going to be like. If it's going to be close, it's going to be close, but there's going to be a whole bunch of stuff just thrown in with some players.
How many fifths and how much fab, right?
Exactly. So here is Dan's offer, right? So it's a 16-team league. I'm probably not going to win it, so I might contend, but not really. Okay. So he gets Chris Brown, AD Mitchell,
Chris Brown,
the rapper.
Yeah, is it the rapper?
He's not a rapper. Chris Brown is not a rapper. He's an R&B artist.
R&B artist.
All right. Chase Brown. My bad. I'm going through all these. Just wait. There's more names to get through. And then, so Chase Brown, AD Mitchell, Troy Franklin, and of course he's getting 100 fab because this is what Dan does. I am getting Tim Patrick, which I don't even know why he's included. Jalen Tolbert. I don't know why he's included. Chris Brooks. I don't know why he's included, but I am getting his 26th first and his 26th second. So for me, like it's an easy, I'm taking the picks. I'm not competing. Chase Brown, he might end up getting worth more. I might not be able to move him. And so AD Mitchell, to me, it's whatever. I mean, he is literally just,
it was 16 teams,
16 team. Yeah. He's a roster spot for me. Troy Franklin, also just a roster spot. But what it allows me to do is Chase Brown is no longer in my starting lineup. It's that much worse. It's like what we talked about earlier, right? So while I'm not getting perfect value on that trade, it helps my team be a little bit worse. And in 16-team leagues, there's a lot of times where you think a team looks good with 2 injuries. That good-looking playoff team isn't a good-looking playoff team anymore, especially when they don't have their own picks to trade to make themselves better. So for me, looking at that, I'm taking the trade.
JB's just steaming there going like, man, I have concerns over that.
He's
that
like,
first.
we could get an extra second here. I think we could get a second.
Can we at least give you the intriguing names on your side instead of you taking all this shit?
Yeah.
Like at least give me AD Mitchell and Troy Franklin instead of giving me Tim Patrick and Chris Brooks. Like
How it works out
had
is
to take the fun young guys as well. You know what I mean?
No, take those guys out. Like,
See,
the
this is why
Chase
you
Brown.
and Dan don't get any trades done. Is because he'll sit up. You're like, I'm not doing this.
He'll let the
told
trade
you-
die over Troy Franklin.
100%.
I rejected after several counters an offer from Dan because he then asked for Fab included, and I walked away. So now part of that is just because it's Dan. Love you, Dan. I think it's a fair trade though, but take those other players out.
If he just sent you a 26 first for Chase Brown,
Mhm.
that's like, hey, we're making a gentleman's agreement. I know where your team is. You know where my team is. We both can handle this. But there is something, I'm with JB. There's something that irks me when you also want, because here's the thing. How many starters is it, Mitch? 10, 11?
10. It's just 10.
There's a world where AD Mitchell or Troy Franklin you could flip them for a second or a third later in a 16-teamer. And he needs to get those guys added in and the Fab. And all he's giving you really is one first. And he's getting the guys that he would cut off his team and send them to you.
I think it's fair, but
It's fair.
get rid of those players.
But Stan.
But it's Dan.
Hey, we accepted a trade, guys. Good job.
Oh, good job.
All right.
Here's one that I'm going to accept, and this is from Wisened. He's in the chat.
No,
Okay.
why? What's up, man?
This piggybacks off of the Njoku conversation earlier. So I'm getting Pat Fryermuth in a 26-second. He's getting David Njoku. This is a league where we just had the startup this year. I have a fairly young team, but then there are spots just based on where players dropped. I took a few veterans, David Njoku being one of them. But I have 4 26 firsts, 3 seconds, 4 27 firsts, and 3 seconds there as well. So taking Fryermuth in the second.
I like that deal. You're probably never netting more than a second for Njoku, but you know he's worth more. So it's really, you're just betting on the gap between the two. And I happen to like Fryermuth this year. I think he could do exactly what he's done, which is not peak Njoku, but it's not usable. Like, I think that's where world where you could maybe flip him for something later on if you wanted to, JB. I like that deal. That's a perfect leverage trade where even if you were contending, I would do that deal because I could probably plug Fryermuth into the same spot.
And I love Njoku. Like, I think he's going to have a fantastic season. But good offer.
All right, I got a few I'm going to rip. I don't think I'm going to accept these, but a team where I'm already a top 3 squad. It is a 12x12. I'll give you my 3 best players on my bench right now. Najee Harris, Dylan Sampson, Darnell Mooney, Cedric Tillman. And it's a 2 PPR. I also have Darren Waller and Isaiah Likely. So I have some options. Are you giving up Rashee Rice? This is from Vapad. Rashee Rice for DK Metcalf in 2 seconds. And I would relegate Calvin Ridley, Aaron Jones, or Zach Ertz in a 2 PPR to the bench.
No.
This feels like it's diminishing returns to give up Rice in that deal now.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. That's one of those, and I appreciate him adding that extra second to give it that extra
he tried
value. So it's not insulting by any means, but nah, just the upside of what Rice could be. And I know DK, we're expecting big things in his new situation, but I'll hold on to Rice there.
It's a fair offer.
It's a very fair offer, but I'll take Rice as well.
Same.
Yeah.
No, that's a good offer.
Appreciate it, Vapad. It's one of those where, like, if my bench was completely weak and I was all in, like I needed to move Rice for points, I could probably do something with those 2 seconds and I could start DK in a similar flex spot. But I just don't have the need to do it right now. So we will move on. What
You're
else?
ripping a couple others, right? I have a FOMO trade.
Okay, sent to you.
Yes.
Someone knows you're jonesing for a specific player before the season starts?
No, because I didn't tweet it out and I was going to earlier, and then I thought maybe that's not a great idea. I was going to tweet out players that I'm sad that I don't have enough of. But this is one of them if I was going to actually do that. Let me bring it up. And John and I believe Mitch is in this league as well. Dynasty Fiends. Yes. I would have to give up Trey Harris, a 27 first and a 27 second for Travis Hunter. Now, It is a PPC league. My running backs are filled to the gills. Not really in need, but my wide receivers are not great, Bob. I just want to go back and look at them, but they're not great. My wide receivers are, well, that's the wrong. Oh, is this the right league? Let me make sure I'm in the right league. Nope, that's the wrong league. But either way, my wide receivers are weak. They are weak. I will say that. I am starting Wanderlei Robinson in one of the wide receiver spots. My wide receivers are AJ Brown, Jacoby Myers, Trey Harris, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Lane, Jordan Watkins, and I did not get around to cutting Ryan Florinai. I'm not going to pronounce it correctly.
That's JB. Where are you at on Travis Hunter? Plug your ears
like
while
the
you're
most
at it.
interesting player in my mind in fantasy this year. Like the different outcomes are pretty crazy.
That's a lot. It's a lot of flexibility for Travis Hunter. Is that the best I could do? Like if I took that same offer and spammed it for other receivers that I liked maybe a little bit more, if they all declined, I could maybe justify that that's the market in my league. And it doesn't mean I want to do it, but I feel more comfortable doing it. But you never know. Is there a middling team that has a Drake London on it and they would consider that if you added a second or something like that? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Let's go into see. I'm just going to look at the using Dynasty Daddy, looking at some of the rankings. This team's got no wide receivers of note, although they do have Josh Downs. I wonder if I could get Josh Downs for a second. They are rebuilding.
Wait, what league is this? Fiends?
Fiends, yes. So there is a team that has Joshua Downs. That's really the only wide receiver I'd want. Jerry Jeudy, I like him fine enough. Rashee Rice, but he's not playing football. Metcalf is another one out there. McLaurin.
Can I get Rashee Rice for the 27 first? And keep Trey Harris for the second and just try to get by, and then when I get Rashee Rice back, I feel even better. You know what I mean? Like, can I do that instead?
Yeah, I like that. So it's one of those things where we talk about this when we do roster reviews. And if you haven't signed up for a roster review, go ahead and do that now, because it's never too early to start fixing your roster in the season. Go to ddfantasyfootball.com and there's a little drop down for roster reviews. But when we do roster reviews, that's one of the things we look at, right? I forget what I was going with that, to be honest with you. What were we talking about?
You at least got the roster.
I did the pitch.
There is a link in the description if you're interested in a.
I did the pitch and then forgot what led to that pitch. So if you bring me back, that'd be great.
Yeah, no, you're good. I got one I'm going to reject real quick. I've sold a lot of pieces for picks, so you could call me rebuilding because I probably don't have a shot to win. It's a best ball league. I sell Jerry Jeudy and I get the brilliant package. It is a 2 tight end league, but I sell Jeudy and I get the brilliant package of Cade Otton. And if you don't like Cade Otton, you can also have Payne Durham. So I get both of them.
Durham, nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
nice.
That's good for you.
Yeah, so
That's
I'm going to reject that one. Hurts
offer.
to lose. I'm sorry. He's a Jalen Hurts fan. I'm going to have to reject the Otton and Durham for Jerry Jeudy, that regardless of the format. Even if I'm selling, that's not what I'm trying to sell for. And that's a pet peeve of mine, JB. If you know you're trying to liquidate, don't send me 4 rookies that haven't popped this year. You know what I mean? Like, give me something that I can maybe work with, not in the now. Because if you're trying to sell me Pat Bryant for a startable player, like, you got to tack a pick on there. You know what I mean? I'm not interested in DJ Giddens and Pat Bryant for a starting receiver. I get they're young, but I think that's where Dynasty has really evolved over the last few years. Young doesn't mean ever useful or valuable or I could ever do anything with, especially if you are contending and you don't even want those players, then they probably don't help me in my rebuild, which I'm trying to accelerate right now. So just something to throw out there.
Just real quick, just because I did have a point when I was going through that. This is what I was going to say. Sometimes when we're doing roster reviews, we talk about teams that should be making trades, right? That should be making trades because they're a fraud or they're not very good. But just because that's the outside view doesn't mean that the manager for that roster actually knows that their team is a fraud. So it doesn't always mean that you're going to be able to get a deal with them, though. Again, you should always at least try.
JB, Mitch, how many teams right now would you estimate? Because I looked at mine. I think I'm at like 90% of my teams. I'm not pushing out yet. Even if they sim as the 8th best team, I'm sitting there going, yeah, I can still maybe sneak in the playoffs. Like it's very hard to admit before week 1 that your team is out of it. Even if I can look and go, dude, you have a 22% chance of making the playoffs. You clearly don't have a top 5 roster. You've already traded at least your second or more. Like you should probably be liquidating Derrick Henry before it's too late, but they don't. How many teams you guys have like that where you already know? Like you're at over 100, JB. How many do you just know?
I would say I do tend to, especially a 12-team league, if 6 teams make the playoffs and there's so much more variance as opposed to a 14 or 16 team league where there is a clear have and have nots and there's that divide. 12-team leagues, I do tend to hold on a little bit and see if I can make that push. But hopefully in a lot of situations, despite that roster in the 14-team league that I talked about earlier, I do have a lot of situations where either I know I'm a have not, like I'm towards the bottom of the starter value on Dynasty Daddy. I've already positioned myself. But yeah, if I'm kind of floating in the middle of the pack, I know a lot of people, they're like, I either want to be first or last. I buy into the variance a little bit because it is going to, it's not always going to be in your favor, of course, but I am a little bit reluctant to really just throw things away, especially before week 1 even started.
Yeah, for me, I'll look at the quarterbacks. And so I would say there's probably, I'd say 10 to 15% of my teams I have, I'm willing to look at right now and be like, you know what, they're not going to contend. But the ones who I think are kind of middling, I'll look at the quarterbacks. Let's say I have a Rodgers or a Russ as my quarterback too. When I've tried to make a trade this offseason for a quarterback, couldn't get anything done. I don't think Rodgers and Russ are going to be anything that are going to help me win a playoff game. I just think they're below average starters at this point. Everyone's going to have that positional advantage over me to where, with those two, I'd almost look, hey, if I have a really good wide receiver I could put in that spot instead, I would consider doing that with those guys. So I would look at it in that direction because in order to get a quarterback, sometimes those leagues, you have to trade so much of your starting value to get there. Or if I have to trade my pick, like I'm not going to trade my picks on a middling team to hope to become, a top 3 team this year. If I'm moving my pick, I want to either continue to be a top 3 team or push myself into that, I'm number 1, everyone's gunning for me for the rest of the season. But if I'm having a hard time with quarterbacks, it's really the only position. I can make running backs work. I can make tight ends work. But if I just don't have anything in that quarterback 2 spot, that will lean me into rebuilding a lot faster than pretty much any other scenario.
Yeah, Shane, we did that show and there were a lot of rosters where it's like, yeah, we simmed to be the 8th best team.
Yeah.
But the bottom 3 are so bad that they've already got Jeremiah Smith in their sights. They're 2 years out on the tank. And I'm like, I think more often this offseason I've asked how low can the team get? And if the answer is, man, I don't know if I could even get below the 103, then there's no point in blowing up a meddling team. If the worst you can finish is 104, 103, like if the other 2 or 3 spots below are accounted for, it feels like you should try to sneak in, try to find that deal where you get 2 starters for your second and it's our start 12 or something like that. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but I'm not punting because I punt great. I finish still the 104 and I've maybe taken a suboptimal deal, like the Chase Brown deal, right? Like you did that because you have a specific plan, but if I'm not going to get that much lower, then maybe I'll wait a little bit and I gamble. So, all right, let's rapid fire. Anybody got something they want to throw out that are either easy accepts or easy rejects?
So in that league we were just talking about, Dynasty Fiends, I sent someone a 26 first for Rashee Rice. They countered with Trey Harris and that same 26 first. I think I would like to accept that. Doesn't help me for the next 6 weeks, but
so it's kind of like then Rashee Rice in the Rashee Rice in the second versus Hunter. That's the net kind of between the two.
Well, then, yeah. So the other offer sitting out there, yeah, really, it's Trey. Yeah, the difference is one's a 27 first and one's a 26, and then the fact that yes, there's a second added. Yeah, I do like keeping that second because that does give me an option to go. All right, well, let me go try to buy another wide receiver for a couple weeks.
Sorry, I froze. I keep freezing.
Or at least I have another. I hold on to that asset to buy.
Do they have any other like low end veteran receivers, even like a freaking Keenan Allen or someone?
Let's see here. Let's see.
While you're looking that up, I just moved Keenan Allen.
Christian Kirk.
Oh, that could do it.
Yeah. I love Kirk, man. I like Kirk a lot this year.
I don't even like Kirk a little bit. Oh, he's got my boy Jalen Coker, but he's got Deontay Thornton. I'm gonna try Christian Kirk. We'll see.
I just moved Keenan for 26 third and Nick Westbrook. Westbrook was the cut.
Oh. Yeah.
So
Right.
I third for Keenan, and then yeah.
Then I got a bunch. Let's see. We've got there was a whole host of them. Diaz is offering me a single first for Tyler Warren in the no flex league where you must start 2 tight ends and it's a tight end premium.
Nope.
Appreciate that, Diaz. Here's one. Give up Rome Odunze and a 27 first and get Marvin Harrison.
Come on.
No.
Hey, look, we asked people to send us offers. They obliged.
All right.
So I didn't get those trades from him, but like I got probably 5 or 6 trades from some different people. And I got it from multiple. So I'm not talking specifically, but there's some people who are always winning by like that 15 to 20%. And they'll send you 5 trades, but every single one of them is like, you're winning all of these. There isn't like one that I could just be like, you know what? A small counter we're in. These are, no, we have to like go back to the table and pretty much start all over to make these work.
All right. I'll give you some rapid fire here. 12-team Superflex, start 10, 3 receivers, no tight ends here. Pacheco, Diggs, and Cup for Woody Marks and my 26 first. My roster, I have Dak, Tua, CMC, Harvey, AJ Brown, Matthew Golden, Jacoby Myers.
No on principle that I'm paying a first for 3 guys that are worth seconds. Like it.
That's exactly, yep.
It's if you plug it in and just add everything together, you're like, hey, you know what? I kind of like this, but then
if you look at the calculator,
it's a situation where all 3 pieces could be close to zeros in 8 weeks. I'm not saying they will be, but they could be.
And they're in the one type of league I'd consider a deal like that is I have one that is a 14 by 14.
Right. Little
where
bit
my
different
first
than 12
is
by 10.
My first, the range of outcomes is spread wider, right? So I'm a little more willing to move it. And probably every one of those pieces I'm starting because I need to. But here, I'm guessing you're not plugging those 3 in and going, now I'm the title contender. You know what I mean? Like if you have to put them all in, that's probably a red flag as to why you should be not accepting the trade, you know? So yeah, best ball dream trade, but like not in, I assume this is a lineup league. So
yeah,
we're not doing that.
Sorry, gotcha.
I was 12 by 10, Rattler and a 26 third for my 26 second. I'm just keeping the 26 second because I don't believe in Spencer Rattler.
He's a real person. I just don't think he's actually.
Is he though? I mean, maybe.
Well, but talk through that because Rattler, I have a couple Rattlers that I've tried to move, and I'm like, I just want him gone. I'll take a third. And what the issue that I've found, JB, is nobody needs him this week. If you need him, you're probably going, I probably shouldn't be trading for him because I'm so desperate that I probably shouldn't give up anything of any value for him. So it's actually sucks that he was named the starter because it made him probably harder to get anything for because he's probably gone by the time somebody needs a quarterback. So if you just think about it that way, like nobody needs him. So you can't trade him. So it's a sharp offer because that's probably the best you can get.
Oh, it's another one. It's not a bad offer by any means. Like that wasn't an offer that I was like, oh man, I can't wait to shit on this. Like it was a good offer.
Yeah. Well, here's one that'll intrigue you guys. So this is a 12x12. It is a 0.25 point per carry. Traditionally in these leagues, I fade receiver. I'm willing to just live with Sutton, McLaurin, those types. Like that's the lowest common denominator. If I even have to go lower, I will. In fact, my starting lineup in this league, I believe, is just chock full of Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, Alvin Kamara, Tony Pollard, J.K. Dobbins. It's just running back, running back, running back. This draft fell terribly for me. I got sniped on Caleb Johnson by 1 pick, so all 6 running backs were gone. So I had to take Emeka Egbuka in a league where I would never even value an elite receiver, right? And I have a really good team. I got offered Josh Jacobs straight up for Emeka Egbuka. Points-wise, even if Egbuka is a top 24 receiver, if Jacobs is a top 10 running back, he clears him by 5 to 8 points per game. But given how I've built my team already with those names I mentioned, Henry, Taylor, Pollard, Kamara, Dobbins, like, do I need to add another Nick Chubb on the bench? Do I need to add another running back when my 3 starting receivers are DJ Moore, DK Metcalf, and Deebo Samuel, and those are the best I have. So it feels like
who are the top running backs you have on your bench at this point?
Bench, I mean, on my bench, Nick Chubb, Chris Rodriguez, and on my taxi, no other real running backs, but
and it was 0.25 PPC?
0.25 PPC, yep. I mean, that is you look at the war between receivers and running backs are just a level above. You want to flex a running back as many as you can, and, the guys like Jacobs, Henry, et cetera, are just, they're hammers until they're not.
I want Jacobs.
I'm taking Jacobs.
I still think he has top 10 upside for the next few years. That's who I want, those leagues.
It's one I'm stewing over. Shout out to who sent me this offer? Pulley sent me this offer. This I don't know, Shane. What do you think? Without the PPC, it's obvious because Egbuka is one of those where you can just do a lot with them. Half the people in these point per carry leagues don't ever value the scoring correctly. So having an elite receiver is like something I would have never planned to do. Because
Right.
it's impossible to get him unless you get him in the draft. But I'm sitting on Egbuka, who's probably the biggest dynasty riser. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think I could counter and maybe get a second, which allows me to buy another Nick Chubb, Tony Pollard type if I ever needed it. Like, I think I could probably get that done.
Yeah, I don't want to move Egbuka right now. I'm good. He's set up for success, and if he has even a little bit of success early in the season, it's going to be absurd how quickly he's a top 12 wide receiver in Dynasty.
And he's in that situation where if he does have success early in the season, but kind of comes back down to earth if and when Chris Godwin returns, well, there's that baked in excuse. Well, look what he did when Godwin was out.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
I get it. Here's a couple offers. I get Tanner McKee and Anthony Richardson. I give up Tua in a +6, -4 league.
Why?
I'm going to reject that one. Here's another offer.
Is Tua market that bad that we're coming with A-Rich?
Apparently.
Going like,
It's got to be.
hey, Team JB, you
people hate
interested in
Tua.
this?
People hate Tua, but I'll keep him there.
Yeah.
I get Kyle Williams, Keon Coleman in a 26 second. I give up Devontae Smith and a J.K. Dobbins.
Nope.
I'm sorry, run that by me again.
Keon Coleman, I rejected it already. Who was Keon Coleman, Kyle Williams in a 26 second for Devontae Smith and J.K. Dobbins.
No, yeah. Okay, no.
I get Isaiah Bond. I give up Damian Pierce. I will keep Damian Pierce.
Oh, God, someone really is grinding.
Damian Pierce, I hope.
Roster construction right there.
Yeah, hopefully everybody got some Damian Pierce or Chris Rodriguez off what do you call that? An SFB today.
And I really do appreciate the offers, but I'm not going to go through this last one. There's just too many pieces.
It's worse than Isaiah. Oh, okay, I was going to say it's worse than Isaiah Bond for Damian Pierce. Those are the offers I would have been sending like 2 or 3 years ago when I'm like, I need to grind every rookie receiver that hasn't popped. Like, what can I get for Pat Bryant? You know, can I trade him for like what dead ass? Can I trade him for Kendre Miller? You know what I mean? Like, I'm sending those types of trades out.
Here's one I'll accept. 14 team super flex, start 12, start 3 running backs, start 4 wide receivers, 0.15 PPC, tight end premium as well. I get Judy, and again, it's a 14 team league. I get Judy for a 26 second, third, and another third. And it's a 4 wide receiver league where that market is tight.
Okay.
I don't mind that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I don't mind that at all. So you're paying less than a first for a guy that could produce close to a first. I kind of like that.
And my team, for the most part, is pretty solid given the league dynamic.
Okay.
I have one that I definitely will take. In a league, it's 12 by 10. Pretty basic bitch. I am not doing well. And the offer to me is a second and a third for Devontae Adams. Now, do I take that or do I just hold and hope that he works himself into a first somehow?
That one's hard in that kind of league to where like,
and there's no, and sorry, just cut you off.
Great,
I'm an asshole, but there's no movement in that league. Like if you go through the trade history, it's Shane, also Shane, and then Shane. So that's my other concern is I don't know, even if he comes out firing, if I'm going to be able to move him in season anyway.
That's always the worry, right? Is like, yeah, you can play like, hey, instead of you getting the 205, you could get the 112. Well, that 112 still has to be willing to offer that to you for Adams. That 110 has to do it. And so while you can play that game, sometimes with these aging vets, you do end up taking a value loss, but I tend to do that more often than I probably should, just because, look, that guy's not helping me. I haven't moved him all season. Am I going to move him the next month? Maybe. Or I could just move him now for a little bit less than what I want, but at least it's helping me continue the roster construction that I want.
Can you do Adams for 2 seconds or Adams for the second, third, and maybe like Woody Marks or Taj Brooks? I know we're bringing back those names from earlier, but
I love Woody Marks. I
like that counter, JB, because I think there's some value you have to place in a league like that someone's actually engaging with you.
Yeah.
Like you said, there's no activity. So I don't care if Adams is wide receiver 1 after 2 weeks. How do you know the right team if someone's even going to send you an offer? You know what I mean?
It is very unlikely that I'm going to get an offer in this league. I crafted an AI message the other day saying, hey guys, I'm putting it out there. Let's putting them on the table. Let's get something done. I want to make a deal with anybody. But this one did spark some interest at least. And like I said, there's just no movement. I mean, there's Torrey Horton. I could try Torrey Horton. I don't know if he's going to do that. Torrey Horton in a second as opposed to Torrey Horton the third, or do we like the third better than Torrey Horton?
I say get all 3 pieces.
And Shane, in a non-active league, I don't really want Torrey Horton because it's like, what's the plan with him? If nobody's active in trading for Devontae Adams, what am I going to flip Torrey Horton?
Yeah, it's no, it's not CVD. It's less action than CVD, Ruben. Yeah, the only thing is I do want an extra. It's just yeah, you're right. Like I can't move anything. There's no running backs of note to even buy from this guy. It goes, I mean, Chris Rodriguez, maybe. I'll try Chris Rodriguez instead of Torrey Horton. How about that?
Sure.
The problem is with getting a dude like this, like a Chris Rodriguez or a Torrey Horton, is that even if they do fire, literally, I can't do anything with them.
In a non-active league that people are not chasing today's, clearance item that everybody wants. Like I'm not. Yeah. I don't care about getting those guys.
He doesn't have another second. I'll just ask for another third, and that's good enough for me, considering it is what it is in this league.
Others? What do we got? I got a few ones that I actually want to debate, but any quick ones?
Go ahead.
12 teams start 12, 4 wide receivers, McLaurin or Pittman and Debo.
Oh, I want
McLaurin.
McLaurin.
12 by 12?
12 by 12, and it's start 4 receivers.
I think I want the 2.
I don't. Okay.
I'm not going to sit here and say McLaurin is just a tier above those other guys enough to where it's worth not getting the extra starter, assuming you need the extra starter. If you don't, then, but you know your team. You know who your last flex or 2 was and how hard it was to decide who it is. If it's like, do I pull Ollie Gordon up off the taxi to put him in the lineup? If it's like that, then I'd be willing to do it.
It's another league where it's extremely difficult because it's start 4 receivers to get a decent wide receiver.
Okay.
All right. I have. Did we decide to take it? What are we doing?
What's your gap between Debo and Terry McLaurin, JB? That's really the nuts here. If you think Terry's top 15 and Debo's not top 25, then you're not going to do it. But if they're both somewhere between 15 and 30, then I can tell you that war is very little difference in terms of just starting them for the year or 2, you know?
So here's my wide receiver core: Brian Thomas, DK Metcalf, Pittman, and Debo. I have those 2 right now. Cedric Tillman, Christian Kirk, Darnell Mooney, Jordan Addison. So when Addison comes back, if I would make this move,
is it just PPR? Is there a tight end premium?
Yeah, there's a tight end premium.
Is it 2 or is it
0.75? It's 0.75. So 1 and 1.75.
Are your tight ends strong enough to fill the flexes?
I have Brock, Kelsey, and then Kate Otten. Running backs are Chuba, Kenneth Walker, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Caleb Johnson. Like it's a strong team.
You named a lot of flexes there. I think if you're,
because of the start 4 receivers, there's only the 3 flexes.
Yeah,
it's a strong team.
You're not gonna regret this trade. I think it could be very diminishing returns though if McLaurin is not far better than Debo.
Right.
You gave up a piece for that speculation, basically. But I could see easily if somebody had a need, you would love to split McLaurin for 2 startable receivers like that if you were on the other side. So you know the feel of the league, but I can see both sides.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Terry.
Okay. Probably made somebody happy that desperately wanted to split Terry into something they could start, and they got it. So
that's exactly it. Mitch, that was Zeb, and I think 3 of these deals got done with him.
Yeah,
is this in?
I got like
no. That was not Fiends. That was just one more.
No joke. He sent me 10 trades.
10.
Yeah.
Dude, he's awesome.
Well, he saw the message and he wasn't messing around.
And he sent every one of us offers. He has one he just sent me that, and it's in. He countered actually. So I tried to offer a Joshua Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt for Josh Downs. He declined. Then I tried a 27 second for Josh Downs. He declined. Then he Voltroned it and said, well, how about a 27 second in JCM for Josh Downs? Now, Josh Downs again, it slipped right into my wide receiver 3-year-old. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt is my running back. I would go with 6 if we're being conservative. It is a point PPC league though, right? I think there's a small points per carry in this league.
Is it 0.15? I think.
Yeah, it is small, but it does exist.
I'm just checking. I've had at least 10 offers since the stream started, so I overestimated how many we were going to be.
We're not getting.
Yeah, there was no way we're going to hit all of them.
We're not getting through these. So
I didn't realize people like, oh, there's a stream going on. Let me send 4 trades.
I love it though. We should do this every single night.
Apparently this is the way to get it done. So I don't care what you guys are going to say. So eventually, here's another thing with trades. Sometimes you just have to take the value loss to get something done that you want done. Yeah. Just hike up your penis and get it done. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to hit accept.
So here's a quick one that I'm going to reject just because there's some bias. And how often have you guys heard me have player biases over the years? Very little. But it's a salary cap league, but the salaries are pretty similar, so it doesn't really matter. But I give Keon Coleman in a second for Khalil Shakir. There's just no reason to do it, right? They kind of feel like offense, same bets, like range of outcomes.
Yep.
Similar, but I think if it goes right, I'd rather have Keon Coleman. If I had to bet between the two, like it feels like I'd rather have him. So that's an easy reject. That was from AJ. Shout out to AJ in the Discord, but yeah, I'm going to pass on that one. What else?
Here's one. This is buying into hype 100% if I was to do this trade. So it's a 12 by 12, but I have a lot of players on my bench. I'd be all right. So I get Travion Henderson. I'm giving up Jaden Reed, RJ Harvey, Bashal Tutin, 27 second, 28 second. It's not really a trade that I'm gonna do because it's a 12 by 12, but you're getting Travion, and everyone knows if he ends up going out and he has a decent week one, he's how high would he move in your tiers, John? Top 6-ish running back. It's not going to take a lot for him to move up. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I have him in the 4 to 7 tier already as of now.
Yeah. And none of these guys, I mean, we all love RJ Harvey. Love RJ Harvey. If Harvey has a good week, he's probably doesn't have that same upside. Jaden Reed, to me, I could care less about those wide receivers. Bashal Tutin, whatever. 27 second, 28 second. That's kind of the holdup for me. But it's tough in those 12 by 12s because it's a lot of depth to give up for what I think is the hammer piece in this deal. It's obviously by far the best piece you're getting for like a whole bunch of not trash, but not great pieces.
Here's another one I'm going to reject.
So what did you do, Mitch? Did you take it?
No, I'm going to counter and try to take the seconds off. And I know he'll counter me again after that.
Or can you just take the 27? You said it was 27 and 28 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you take the 27 second off?
28.
Yeah.
Maybe throw in like a 20-37 second.
I know at this point.
A 20-37 second. Are you the Clippers? Is that what's going on? Are you going to sign him to be a landscaper? Do you have a deal?
Yeah, no, I was letting you guys finish that one. When I'm sitting here thinking it's too deep to go into this, but you start moving out and you're trading 27 seconds and 28 seconds. It's almost like there's such diminishing returns on what I can buy with those players or with those picks. Like, I don't even care who the players are unless it's just so obvious. Like, I don't want to start moving collections of picks for any individual outcomes today, unless it's just so obvious a great deal. Just doesn't make sense. There's only 128 second that you're allotted over the next 3 years. You know what I mean? So just thinking about that, like, it's just, you get people that'll start sending offers for those picks way far out for players. It just doesn't make sense. This is a 2 QB best ball league. Mm-hmm. I went 4 quarterbacks to start the draft and ended up building a pretty decent team as well. And there's teams that didn't care about them, continue to not take them, and now they're desperate to get them. And I got offered a 27 first, which is probably a decent pick, a 28 second, and Cade Otton in a 2 tight end league for Justin Herbert. So it's just another one I'm going to have to reject from Rumble McSkirmish. I need 2 tight end or 2 quarterback best ball league where I want at least 4. Like I need to clearly upgrade my team to do that. A single first and a couple pieces doesn't do it. So thank you for the offer, but we're going to have to reject.
Well, I accepted an offer without even consulting with you guys.
What was it?
So this is 2 cute by half. Let's see. What is this type of league? We're going to go back. And Vapad, just real quick, dude, you got a bunch of offers out there to me. One of them is actually good, but this is from our dude, Bobby Ross. Let me go to 2 cute by half. So the deal was, or is, let's pretend that I didn't make it yet. The deal offered to me is I would give up Jerry Jeudy and Marvin Harrison, and I would get back Josh Jacobs, AJ Brown, and Cade Otton.
Wait, Cade Otton's been in half these damn trades.
I know.
Yeah, I give up Marvin Harrison and Jerry Jeudy to the youth, and I get back the Utes, and I get back Josh Jacobs, AJ Brown, and K-Dot.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, love that trade.
Yeah, I like that deal. I did it. My wide receivers are still ranked 10th, but that's probably because I just gave up 2 for 1. My running backs went up. And Vapad in that same league offered me a bunch of Jackson darts for a bunch of my players. Let me just give you my starting quarterbacks, Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts. Now.
What else?
But I do have one of interest that I do. Vapad has offered me Saquon Barkley, pulling at my heartstrings, smart man. Saquon Barkley, I have to give up Xavier Worthy. And damn it, let me go back. I'm sorry.
And okay, now we're
Xavier Worthy and Aaron Jones.
Oh, Saquon.
Okay.
I would take Barkley there. Yeah.
Okay. Pretty heavy war. We haven't talked about war tonight, but it's pretty heavily running back league war wise. So we're going to accept that deal as well.
I mean, if Saquon's anything close to what you think he is, you're going to win that deal probably. It's more about if you need to split Saquon, that's a decent return. You know,
yeah.
I don't hate it.
Yeah. So I actually did make a trade earlier before because I have the patience of a fruit fly. This morning,
should suspend this one since you made it after the message, but before the show.
This one I made even before the show. Someone said, "Hey, I'm trying to move some players." They did the message, said, "I'm trying to make some players. Let me, does anybody want these players?" And they put Saquon Barkley on the board, and I sent them Ja'Cory Krosky-Murray and Garrett Wilson, and got back Saquon and Javonte Williams.
Okay.
So I've used Ja'Cory Krosky-Murray in, I don't know, multiple trades. The worst part of all this is I have to go reset a bunch of lineups now.
Yeah, it's true.
I just feel bad. I just keep staring at my phone and the screen here with my notes from earlier, and I have like 30 trades that.
Yeah, it's not good.
Kincaid plus Knox for Hawkinson. 2 PPR for tight ends.
Kincaid and Knox for Hawkinson.
Yeah,
I prefer Hawk.
Yeah,
putting Knox in there, like having the other tight end on Buffalo somehow makes the deal a little more enticing.
It does, to be honest.
You get the handcuff.
Oh yeah.
All right. 14 team super flex start 11. Actually, this is the Champions League, Scott.
Okay. I got one in there too.
Mitch and I get Cam Ward, Jaden Reed, and Rashee Rice, and we give up Amon-Ra St. Brown and Cortland Sutton. But you talk about diminishing returns. We have Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson already.
Yeah.
Giving up Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sutton, getting back Rice, Reed, and Ward.
Cam.
Yeah, Cam Ward.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that side actually. I'm giant Cam Ward stan. I think he's going to be a top 10 quarterback, so that's why I'm doing it. But that's a lot of wish casting.
If our quarterback room was
any different,
built differently,
yeah, right.
And we also have no picks until I think 2032. So,
and I know John well. I was talking to him about a different league earlier this week. I'm like, hey, what would happen if we moved Josh Allen? What are you thinking? And then he sent back, this is what I would want for Josh Allen. And I'm like, we are never moving Josh Allen ever, which is completely okay. I mean, he's like the unicorn of fantasy right now. So, with it.
I shared the offer with you.
Yep.
I said, this is what I would want. I don't think they would do it, but then I also don't know if I would want to do it.
Exactly.
Which makes it so challenging to move a top 3 startup pick.
Yeah. And I didn't even catch what was the whole package, Ward and what else? Because I got an offer from the same manager in the same league.
It's a super,
not a similar type deal, but trying to move.
Cam Ward, Jaden Reed, and Rashee Rice for our Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and Sutton. But again, we have Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Connor, Henry, Jacob, Swift, Evans, DJ Moore, Ridley, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Sutton, Ferguson, Kelsey, and we have no 26 first.
Right. And the only way that makes sense is then you got to do more work. It's go, all right, well, how do I move Lamar or Josh Allen, and what's the biggest return I can get? Because otherwise you're just bleeding value on the deal.
Right.
Well, and sometimes you do have to play defense against the other managers. This manager that sent me the offer has Herbert, Nix, Stroud, and Cam Ward.
Right. So it's a move that certainly makes sense for them.
They would be the type of team. They'd be the type of team you'd want to trade with, but they're probably not the team to give you everything you want for Allen. My offer was I trade Michael Penix and a 27 first for Justin Herbert, and I get Roschon Johnson thrown in. But all that is for them is stacking a lesser quarterback
and getting
And the way my team is built, like I have a decent team, but not one I want to trade my 27 first for a. Maybe Herbert's an upgrade from Penix, but the way my roster is constructed, like that's not going to make or break where my team goes over the next year or two. And then I look at their roster and I know all they're doing is downgrading their QB, getting Penix and a first. Like it's not a deal that I would consider, not for me, but also.
Yeah, you keep cutting out here, Scott. I think both of them were super fair, and Jedi. So give him a little shout out here because I think the offers were strong.
So we haven't highlighted a bunch of comments, but I like this, right? Force L7W. Some trades, even if you like them, need to be declined. And that's true even when the value's right. You know what I mean? Like there's a bunch of times people send me, hey, Shane, what do you think of this trade? I go, well, it's fair in value, but I wouldn't make it. And here's why. You know what I mean? The context to it. So even if you're getting equal value, it doesn't always make sense to make that deal, right? Like, I think everybody would say that 3 firsts, for example, for Jamar Chase in a 12x10, just standard basic bitch league, right? 3 firsts would probably be sufficient, and you should probably move him, right? At a minimum, it's fair. It's more than fair. But I don't know that I make that deal in, most of the leagues I'm in, but in a good bit of my leagues, I don't think I make that deal, even if the value is fair.
So I got 2 in another league. It's a 0.25 point per carry. This is from old Koopa Troopa. Shout out to Koopa Troopa, another portfolio grinder over at South Harmon. He wants to give me Ashton Genty, and I have to give him Kenneth Walker at 26 first and a 27 first.
That's
Genty.
That's too much for me.
Yeah. And I like Genty, but again, the 0.25 actually makes me want Kenneth Walker even more relative to Genty than otherwise, because it's a start 12. Like he's clearly one of those running backs. You're just putting in a flex every week, and maybe he's not Genty, but it's diminishing returns in terms of, what else can I do with those firsts versus the difference between Genty and Walker. So I get it, but in a start 12, start 13, like again, you just can't give up both of your future firsts for a upgrade 1-for-1 at the same position. Just doesn't make sense.
No,
so.
Unfortunately not.
Here, we had a super chat here from our guy, Matt.
I saw it
about an hour ago. It's a start sit question. Who to start at flex week 1 PPR? Diggs versus Las Vegas, Downs versus Miami, or Jaylen Warren versus the New York Jets? Betting line say Warren. What are our thoughts? Matt, appreciate you, dude. I know you're always tuning in.
Matt, I'm not starting a rookie tight end in a non-tight end premium league over receivers that do have a history of being able to earn targets.
Jaylen Warren.
Oh, I thought, okay, never mind. Yeah, I would probably still go with Downs.
Now I go running back. So
you'd go Warren?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're going to be in for a rude awakening if we're expecting Jaylen Warren to produce at anything other than a 10-point per game type of level, because that's just who he is. So I'm never going to bet on Warren. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You know what I mean? The season will play out. I'm going Downs. I know that's got its own risks involved, namely Daniel Jones, but it is what it is. And I'm still a Downs guy, so I'm going Downs.
I'm going to add absolutely no value here and make things worse.
Diggs.
I kind of like Diggs. So we talked about this in the Heisman chat earlier today, and it was about start sit decisions. And luckily or not so luckily for us, because we're in so many leagues, like I don't have time to micromanage all these start sit decisions. So oftentimes, more often than not, I am going based on the projections. Now, if you're in fewer leagues or you have a ton of leagues, but you have the time, by all means, go for it. But like if the projections here are going with Warren, I'm probably plugging in Warren in most of the situations. I did say like Jerome Ford, I think his projection is super low this week, going against that Swiss cheese defense that Scott likes to watch each and every week in Cincinnati. Hey, I'm in Pittsburgh here, so you can shit on us, just as much.
Well, let me ask you that, because you're in Pittsburgh. Like, the projections are going to say Jaylen Warren because he's quote unquote the starter, and he's going to out project Caleb Johnson. He's probably the highest projected Steeler other than DK Metcalf on almost every platform. But like Shane's shaking his head, like he's only there based on a projection. You know what I mean? Like I think he's projected like 14.3 points on Sleeper, but like it just feels like I trust a receiver to get closer to that when I'm really kind of gambling. Like, is Jaylen Warren actually the starter? Or, I mean, what's your take? You're a Steelers fan, JB. Like, is he a guy you trust week one? Because I would argue if you're not starting Jaylen Warren here, when you have two suspect receivers, a guy coming off an injury and a guy in a brand new offense with a new quarterback, why is Jaylen Warren on your – when is it going to get better for Jaylen Warren? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's – if it comes to Warren, it's kind of a bye week injury fill-in that you just need to plug and play certain points in the season. I think the Caleb Johnson third string stuff is overblown. Yes. We saw Travion Henderson come in on third of the depth chart. JCM, obviously different prospect and pedigree, but he's fourth on the Commanders depth chart. Like, you always got to take these with a grain of salt. And I think it's going to be a lot closer to 50-50, even in week one with Warren and Caleb. But even if Warren does get 65% of the work, what's the ceiling there? Mm-hmm. So if you need a ceiling play, and I know it's kind of a cop-out, if you need a ceiling, I would say go with one of the receivers. Personally, I would lean on Diggs here. That's just me.
Well, Matt, appreciate it. Yeah.
And there's another Matt bringing up, didn't they do this last year with Warren? Yeah, I feel like every year.
Last year Warren was injured. Remember, he had the hamstring strain near the end of preseason. So I mean, Warren was good in 2023. So if he comes back and he's that, and Caleb Johnson sucks, I can see him being the best play here. It's just, do you trust that? So I'm kind of talking myself into Warren, because if I'm not starting him week one,
when are you starting?
What am I doing? Even if he's good in week one, am I going to trust him in week two? Like, do I have to see a running back's usage, or is he kind of what he is? I'm more intrigued with what the other receivers look like, because I think Downs and Diggs have a higher ceiling than Warren does, for sure.
Trenton saying Rodgers ain't going to want a rookie on Pass Pro. And while I agree with that, we see countless running backs. Now, I'm not saying Caleb Johnson is that prototypical get him out in space receiving back, but there are plenty of running backs that aren't that great in pass protection and still are heavily utilized in the passing game. Again, I'm not saying that is going to be Caleb Johnson, but I think the pass protection thing can be minimized. That concern can be minimized if they're going to be utilized in a way that they don't necessarily need to.
Yep. All right, boys. Well, we're almost at 9. Any other quick ones you want to shout out? No analysis, like 30 seconds. Any other ones that
I'll just say, shout out to? I would love to call him a good friend of the show. And Wiggins, he's in the Discord, awesome guy, but I'm getting an auction 26 third. I am giving up Dameon Pierce and Demario Douglas. So I would and I don't have any other 26 picks at all. I've completely traded out of that draft. So that doesn't help me. But then I look back just 25 days ago, and in a different league, I get CJ Stroud, and I'm giving up Dak Prescott, Chuba Hubbard, and Demario Douglas. I'm like, little bit closer.
He likes Demario Douglas.
He wants to give them away for sure.
But you nailed something, Mitch. If you're in a auction league, like if you're not stacking picks, it makes no sense to trade little things for a random pick because it's actually a zero relative to. I mean, that is important if you're in an auction startup or an auction rookie draft. Like if you were collecting them, you might do that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But if you have no others, I mean that's still a zero, even if you have that third.
Yep.
So
16 team league. Matthew Golden or 27 first.
27 first.
16 teams. I will take Matthew Golden.
I think it's your ability to project the pick. That those 6, I have always traded my first more freely in 14 and 16 teamers because it feels like I have the ability to stretch how bad it burns me a little bit more. So I'm like, man, if I can send that 27 first in a 16 teamer before Shane realizes that it's the 203, then I'm willing to do it if I can get something that might be better, you know? Like I have to still back it up. But
here's the starting lineup: Kyler Murray, Chuba Hubbard, DeAndre Swift, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, McBride, Pittman, JCM right now, Jameson Williams, and Jared Goff.
I'll take the 27.
That's a savvy 27 to get, JB. That roster seems good week 1 of 2025. But are you comfortable trading your 27 there for Matthew Golden?
Personally, so I lean to reject it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't hate that.
Good offer though.
Shane, you got any others?
Mitch, that was Zeb again.
I've got so many offers to get through.
I know.
That
I've got at least 10 since the stream started. So
yeah, I appreciate everybody that watches the show, everybody that we're in leagues with, everybody just sending out offers. Really, really do appreciate it. Look, they weren't all great, but that just leads to the other point that send the offers. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You do not know what other people are thinking. Generally, you don't know what people in your league, how they value players. You think about it like Scott, Johnson, and Mitch are in 3,000 leagues between the three of them. So they have no idea who you are, right? So just send the offer because the chances are you know what I mean, in general, that you don't know how most people in your league value players when you're in portfolios. If it's 1 or 2 leagues, you have a better idea. But I say just send the offers, right? It's better than talking, right? It's better than hitting someone up and going, hey, what do you want for such and such? You craft an offer, send it out. Even if it's low, make it in the range that it's at least counterable. Counterable? Sure.
Yeah, I'll end it with this. I mean, we have so many offers. Probably we didn't get to shout out. Apologies for saying we would give everybody a shout out. I knew that was as soon as we started, and you all were looking at me like, hey, there's no way at the pace we're going, we're going to be able to shout out every single one of these and break. First deal we did, JB, was yours, and it was like 7 minutes of conversation. It's like it's not your fault. It's just that knowing that one took so long, there's no way we're going to get through the context and the construction and the format of all of these. So a lot I'm going to go through. Probably most are going to be rejected, but I appreciate everybody that sent these out. I'd give them a shout out, but literally we'd spend 5-10 more minutes just reading out names. So this was fun, guys. I think we should do this a couple times during the season, maybe like mid-season where we have, 6 weeks of data and
absolutely
we can pick directions better for teams. You know what I mean? And maybe have a little tighter criteria on the offers. Like we're not going to discuss the Damian Pierces for Fab, those types of deals. I mean, they're important to us when you're late at night on the couch with nothing else to do, Shane. There's nothing better than seeing that sleeper alert that you got, a player for Fab, but probably not work stream worthy. But JB, anything you want to end it with?
Yeah, I think you did me dirty on the thumbnail, to be honest with you. I saw that. I was like, I look like
it was kind of me, but it wasn't. I don't make the thumbnails, but it was me that came up with the rough images for the thumbnail. So.
If I were at the beach, somebody would have harpooned me. That's all I'm saying. All right, that's all I'm saying. But no, just to echo what these guys said, the offers, the response was fantastic. So appreciate it. The chat was on fire. Appreciate it. When we do this again, got to get Dan on. Adds another perspective. Mitch, Dan, and I, every single week starting next week, we're going to be live Tuesday nights on the DD Fantasy Football YouTube channel at 9 p.m. Eastern, talking about the week before, the week ahead, and all things related to Dynasty. So check it out. And while you're watching this video, subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit the like button. Thank you.
100%. Hit us up in the comments. You can join the community, patreon.com/allgas or ddfantasyfootball.com. Jump in. We're going to have a game day channel, so it's going to be fire. Probably tomorrow night for the Eagles-Cowboys game, and then all weekend with opening weekend of the NFL. So join us in the community. If you're not already in there, like and subscribe. Support all the dudes on the channel. Myself, Shane, Ty, JB, Mitch, Dan, Ray, Brandon on the Saturday Night Mailbag, everybody there. So thank you. Good stream. Good luck to everybody in week 1. See you next time.
Appreciate you.